Yeah, Khan.
Right there. Khan, shalom, shalom. Let me give all praises to the Most High Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Baha, Rakah Kudash. Double honors to our teachers and men, Lord, our great millstone, taught us true peace and salutation for elect. I myself, I'm a war out of Winnipeg GMS, and my compadre. Introduce yourself, out.
Barba from the GMS Toronto camp.
Kind of, we want to go through a spirit, the history of the scattering of the nation of Israel, because that is very important to know secular history. And I'm going to we'll go into a few books, but our main foundation are the scriptures, man, because that's in the book of let's see, Psalms 50 and 5, is that right? The Lord says, "Speak ye of the book of Lord," or no, I dwell in the volume of the book, it is written of me.
Oh yes, I think Psalms 40. 40 and 7, I believe. There's even Hebrews 10.
You know, I'm gonna grab Isaiah. Whoever finds it first, just let it go.
It's a race.
No, it's not a race.
I know.
I got Isaiah chapter 34 and 16. You know what? What's a beautiful one is what Jeremiah 6 and 16. All going back to the old ways, right? This is Isaiah. If you don't get that, you can grab that too, still, right? Isaiah 34 and 16. You all right?
My brother from GMS Baltimore wants in on this.
Tell him to come on in, huh?
So,
does he have your? Can he get in?
Yeah, I'm gonna add him in right now.
Oh, that's beautiful, man. That's beautiful. Yeah, Brakatiyah Shy, man. I'm waiting to get in with the brother out there in Hawaii.
He goes hard.
Yeah, he goes hard, man. Brother's heavy. Come on, let me okay, I could let me quickly hit this up and we'll go with the spirit. This is Isaiah 34 and 16. It says, "Seek ye out the book of the Lord and read. No one of these shall fail." Did you get that? I got an update.
Yeah, I just told him to join the call.
It says, and read. The word read in the Greek is anaganisko, which means to understand what you're reading. You got to go into the understanding of words. All right, you got to understand the words, the context of what is being portrayed. Right. It says, "No one of these shall fail, because the word of the Lord is faithful and true, and none shall want her mate. From my mouth it hath commanded, and his spirit it had gathered them." All right. Verse 17, "He hath cast lots for them, and his hand had divided unto them by line." That's his knowledge. Because what Hosea got was different from what Daniel got. But at the end of the day, it all fits together perfectly. Right? Because the scripture said, "The mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, let all things be being brought forth." Is he in?
He's coming.
Because I'm getting notification on my phone here.
Yeah, he's coming.
Kind of sucky. Okay, all right. Kun, you could grab that whatever precept you got out.
I had Deuteronomy 28 and 64, because at the end, before all of this, we were a nation at one point, and people really don't understand the real history of the nation of Israel, because Esau, Moab, and Ham, Ishmael and all of them, they came together. It was going back to Psalms 83, and said that Israel be no more remembrance. That's why there's no hard evidence in the open about Israel. Shalom, Yabba Shemir Shabbat Shemir Kakadash. Shamyar here from GMS Baltimore, man. So this is your power right
now. All right. Beautiful, man. Shalom, man.
Hey, we're just going into the scattering of Israel a lot. So wherever you want to point, let us know.
Anyone want to join in? Just let us know.
Anybody,
Sure.
brothers out there that want to join in, let us know, man. Hit us up. You know, we would. Yeah, I'm gonna go back into Deuteronomy 28:4. It says, "And Yahweh shall scatter thee among all people," and that's a mystery in itself because a war, you know, there's some people who say, "Oh, Yahweh said the priest to all nations." This is the reason why he said the priest to all nations because we were scattered among all nations. That's a mystery in itself that people don't understand. It says, "And Yahweh shall scatter thee among all people." From the one end of the earth even unto the other, and there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy father have known, even wood and stone. Or you can break it down.
Can read that again, Ak? I'm just typing something in here. Unless Ak, I didn't get his name.
Shamya.
Yeah, and then the elder verse, Jeremiah, Shalom.
You know what? Whoever wants to break it down, I'm actually looking for some real quick.
Hey, bring it back out again, Baba Kasha.
This is Deuteronomy 28:64. And Yahweh shall scatter thee among all the people from one end of the earth even unto the other, and there thou shalt serve other gods which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone.
And that's part of that diaspora where we got sent to the four corners of the earth, you know. We start worshiping other gods, you know. We got away from Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. We got away from our own heritage, you know. And that's why you see what's going on today, you know, from Deuteronomy 28:15 was blessings if we would have continued in that path. But from 15 to 68 is all the curses we receive. Okay, that's why you see Jake and just wandering aimlessly out here. You know, the city I live in, Baltimore, you know, I was riding around today and I could just see the hopeless look on people's faces, right? And that's part of what the brother just brought up right there, that scattering, because we once knew these things, roughly paraphrasing. So, you know, now you see the condition that Jake in, and that's only, you know, it's rightfully so, you know, that we go through these things because we didn't never want to hearken unto the words of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. So he scattered us, you know, he took away our heritage and our way of living.
Right. Yes, I said, you shall be a curse and a reproach wherever we go, man. Because at the end, it's like it's supposed to be at the bottom, and it's also a curse to not even know who you are, not to know your place in life, not to know where you came from, you know, and even origins. Like, let's say, so-called Negro man, he ends his trip at Africa. He doesn't know beyond Africa. He doesn't even know how we got into Africa. You know, Esau teaches them that Africa is the mother. You know, that's where they draw the line. That's where they draw the point. Get some someone just in Luke or your house warning and when you see passed about. It's in, I think, 12:51.
Okay. I didn't hear you there.
I think 12:51, where Yahushua said that when you see great armies pass about, this is how we first started getting into Africa and Asia and up north of Europe. And then I'm gonna read Babylon to Timbuktu just to keep it up and, what the scripture says. Right? I believe it's in
I got it.
Okay, Con.
This is Luke 21 and verse 20. And it says, "And when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh."
Is that it or not?
Verse 22 or 21. "Then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains, and let them which are in the midst of it depart out, and let not them that are in the countries enter thereinto."
Yeah, and that's when Pompey, you know, with Vespasian and his son, okay, Titus came and ransacked Jerusalem. When the Romans came in and decimated the place. Now there's a documentary. It was like, I think it was like 1966 when the Jewish went into the African hills and they found actually remnant of Jews' combs a few of their coins. You know, so that's evident in itself, showing you that we ran into the hills as Yahweh prophesied. I forgot what the document was called. It's like 1966 something. But
I got a precept whenever you're ready. Keep going on.
I'm just going to bring this out in the book. This is the book from Babylon to Timbuktu. Okay. And on page 84, it actually has the history written down about what happened. It says in the year 65 BC, the Roman army under General Pompey captured Jerusalem. In 70 AD, General Vespasian and his son Titus put an end to the Jewish state with great slaughter.
Can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
What the brother's reading here is actual secular history. You go in is there? Oh, okay. It's lucky. I thought it cut out. You go into in France. There's an ark. It's called the Ark of Triumph, which is also known as the Ark of Titus, and that actually is the account of when the Romans went into Jerusalem, besieged Jerusalem in 70 AD. So you have the facts in front of your face. You could actually go. I believe there's one in France, and there's another one. Plug it.
They actually got them all over. They got one in Italy. They have one. They have one really all over the world. It was also meant to represent the I forget what they called it, but it was a gate of the gate of no return during the times of slavery, when Jake would go through that gate and they would never return back. So they have all these arts, like they have it in Toronto too.
They have one in New York and Brooklyn, and they have 3 smaller versions scattered all across the states.
You ask yourself, wouldn't that be anti-Semitic to actually have the recordings? You know how they push this anti-Semitism, right? Wouldn't that be anti-Semitism right there? To show you the hypocrisy, man, that it's not really them, it's us.
Right.
Okay, go ahead.
Continuing, says, Titus put an end to the Jewish state with great slaughter. During the period of the military governors of Palestine, many outrages and atrocities were committed against the residue of the people. During the period from Pompey to Julius, it has been estimated that over 1 million Jews fled into Africa. Fleeing from Roman persecution and slavery, the slave markets were full of black Jewish slaves. Now, the key point in this, for people to understand, we already know who the Romans were. They were Edomites. So you're telling me the Romans ran into Africa to flee from themselves, man? You know, this is clearly talking about us. Why did we run into Africa? Because we end in with the Hamites. You know, why would an Edomite run all the way to a dark nation? They'd be spotted out, man. Easy. And it's crazy because even in here, from Babylon to verse 2, underneath it, it has the actual scripture, Deuteronomy 28:64. So it shows you that they did somewhat of their research actually coming together.
Hey, in order to keep a lie going, you gotta what? You gotta know the truth, right?
That's right. That's right. I got a precept for what you were going into, Barba. If I can read it, if I may read it.
Go ahead.
This is Acts chapter 21 and 39. And as Paul was led to be led into the castle, he said unto the chief captain, May I speak unto thee? Who said, Can thou speak as Greek? Are not thou that Egyptian which before these days made an uproar and led out into the wilderness 4,000 men that were murderers? Go ahead, edify that whoever.
Yes. Even more. So even Paul was mistaken for an Egyptian. Now, anyone knows their history. I hope y'all watch Discovery Channel. When they show the Egyptians, they always show them as Egyptian people. Now, if he's speaking to Roman, you know, Paul speaking, why is he mistaking him for an Egyptian if Jews are white? Can he say, "Aren't thou that Roman," or you know, or Grecian, or whatever the case may be? Why did he automatically get the Egyptian? Because he was dark skinned. Okay, with woolly hair and a beard.
Hey, and with that other scripture, when the people were amazed to see different nations from speaking different languages, you know.
Acts 2.
Yeah, Con. You know, that's another indication. You know, why would if you know, let's just say that word
Yeah,
Salaki, I got cut out. Let's just say the word oikoumene was used in John 3:16. So the crowd of people wouldn't be amused to see Israelites speaking other tongues and other, you know, from other nations. That had to have been all dark skinned colored people to be amazed to see that happening at that time.
um, especially that we got Hellenized the way we did. You know?
Right.
So to see when you see Apostle Paul and you see him going from one language to the next language like it's nothing, you're like, what? Because everybody spoke the same tongue. It isn't like now where the majority of world is forced to learn English or learn Spanish and take the language. At those times, you just spoke your own, you know, and it's interpreters to, you know, have the interpreter to speak against another nation's king, and they would translate this type of thing, you know.
Oh, and the further out of point you just made, if I may, to go on the word Hellenized or Hellenists, were also Jews, Christians, whose mother tongue was Greek. They were Greek-speaking Jews of the diaspora who returned to settle in Jerusalem.
Pretty simple, man.
Because the apostles they went into it years ago. You have two words. You have Hellenists or Hellenistas, and you have Helen, which Helen is like the national term, which still can describe Jake because they took on that nationality. But then you had Hellenists, which were Israelites, like even Israelites that knew they were Israelites, but they spoke Greek. You know.
God.
But if you're done, Gabarba, I had or back you up more when I read Luke 21 and 21, right? And you look up Masada, like if you brothers can see, you can just type in Masada, and this is the mountains right here. You know, which Masada was the last stronghold that the Israelites went up into, and as you can see, it's like a mountain. You know, and there's nowhere to go. So what they did was they starved to death, and you know the Romans just starved them out, and you know some of them ate each other, and a lot of them killed each other. You know themselves. So that's prophecy right there, man. So back in verse 20 in Luke 21 and 22, for these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled. Right? Verse 23, but woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days, for there shall be great distress in the land, and wrath upon this people. And they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captive into all nations, and Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled. And you're seeing that today.
God. And I'm quite sure that Gentiles, the natural Gentiles, you know, those who are naturally from another nation. I got a quick precept if ain't nobody bring out Baruch 4 and 6 yet.
No, I didn't.
This is Baruch 4 and 6. You were sold to the nations, not for your destruction, but because ye moved Yahweh to wrath, you were delivered unto the enemies.
You were delivered to the enemies. Okay? And who's your enemy? And these other nations, you had Ishmael, and the slave trade, slave trade. Ishmael, Ham, and Esau were the main three that really been going. You know, and they were scattering us, putting us to different nations, man. Japhet, Moab, whatever the case may be. You know, because what in Joel, they're selling a girl for a $100. You know, back then we were the real money. You know, you trade they would trade a strong man for whatever goods they could get. That's still a trade. That's still a commodity. You're using it. We're using us as real life. You know. Was that it?
It's a little bit more. It says, for ye provoked him that made you by sacrificing unto devils, and not to Yahweh. Ye have forgotten the everlasting power that brought you up, and ye have grieved Jerusalem that nursed you.
See, and that's why we got started, man. because we provoking our own power to anger to the point where when you're uh, a word notice, even to the point he needs to get out of your face, man. You tell him, serious, get out, whatever the case may be, man, because he's getting you to the point where he's rallying you up, man. Most I did to it, just piss him off day in and day out. Was that it? I got a precept.
Yeah, Con, that was it.
You are the root 2:1. It says, therefore, Yahweh has made good his word, which he pronounced against us, and against our judges, and against Israel, and against our kings, and against our princes, and against the men of Israel and Judah, to bring upon us great plagues such as never happened under the whole heaven, as it came to pass in Jerusalem, according to the things that wherein to like a that in the land his own son and the flesh of his own daughter, and that's what at the top of the hill, that's part of that plan, and that's coming back again. But it said,
hey, if I can add to that point, like where else we going to go here from America? So we like kind of spiritually in Masada all over again. Where the hell we going to go at?
right.
Con, that's right, because Isaiah 51 says the captive host, hasten that he may be loose, they may not die in the pit. So we are in a trap. Masada was pretty much you were isolated. You were, pretty much you had nowhere else to go, man.
Yeah,
brother, just
it says, he had delivered them to be in subjection to all the kingdoms that are round about us, to be as a reproach and desolation of all the people round about, where Yahweh hath scattered them. So wherever the nation of Israel is scattered, we are subject to all nations' laws and how they deal and handle things. There's no Jake that's in any other nation's land, even outside of America, that's running anything. Okay, ain't no Jake running Moab's land. Ain't no Jake running Ishmael's land. They're still subject to their dominion, their rule, and they run things. Because the most of them didn't just bring a bunch of us to the west side of the world and just make us subject to Esau. He even made us subject to all the nations underneath Esau, because you got Esau and then you have the order of the heathens underneath Esau as well. But Esau has the most dominion over the whole earth. It says, thus we were cast down, not exalted, because we have sinned against Yahweh our power, and have not been obedient unto his voice.
Con. And that's when you're not obedient unto the Most High, you're a rebellious child, man.
Yeah.
In other words, you're a witch,
Rebellion is a sin of witchcraft.
That's right. Huh? Any brothers got a precept? I'm hoping if you do, go ahead.
You can go ahead.
Con, this is just going into the precept the Barbara was going into. You mentioned that where we run into trouble in every nation we run into. This is for refuge even. This is the book of Deuteronomy chapter 28, and that started 43. It says, a stranger that is within thee that get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. And to recall the tribes of Gad, all right, the Latin tribes, the tribes of the Ephraim, they've been in America for over 2,000 years, and they're suffering the same curses that we're suffering from. Especially Gad out here, man. Gad's living hell.
Hey,
it says, you go ahead if you want to expound on that.
And Gad is going through almost kind of worse than all the New Testament. When you see Gad, most of the time they're drunk, or they're out, because they have to live on situations where they get treated like complete shit. The water is garbage. You know, no one really helps them out there.
Done.
You know? And I'm fine.
Aki, you want to add to that? Okay, I'll keep going. I'll finish off with verse 44. It says, "He shall lend to thee, and thou shall not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail." Those are the curses, man. We're gonna be the have-nots. That's what we're gonna be. We're gonna be the have-nots. And as you see, Jake's wants they want justice, right? You know, they want equal pay, they want equality, you know, they want job opportunity, you know, fair education, and every concept of what consists of a balanced life and something that's fair is not allotted out to Jake out here, man. You know, we don't live the same way these other nations do.
Yeah, man, you'll see that in every Jake neighborhood, man. You'll see a group who can speak 3 words of English. They're selling you Century Sams and juice and cigarettes, and they're living good off you, man. You think they're getting by? Those guys are making 100 G's a year, man, at least. You know, you see Moab, man. They're riding around some nice ass cars. We see them out here, man. They're stunting on you, James, man. You know, but that's like I was watching this thing on the Watts riots back in the '60s with them gooks and Koreans, which some Koreans are looking about Moabites anyway. They were complaining, there's a lot of Hispanics and blacks are looting everything, and I was laughing at them, man. You know, because guess what? Them gooks, they look at you. They know what they know what you are. You're subservient, man. They look at you like you're like the subject, you know, because they hail you up and you guys are so-called cool, he's just leeching at you, man. You know, so that scripture right there is accurate, man. You know, you have a first generation heathen come, and they're already over you. They're already lending you. You know.
That's true.
Hey, I got these.
Yeah, hey, the brother said on the comment board.
What do you say?
No, the brother just said Ishmael coming from Syria, living good out here in Toronto, and that's true.
That's right.
You got Jake's coming there from Syria too, though. You got in Aram.
Yeah, I got these lyrics from a Lupe Fiasco song, and they make a lot of sense, right? Now listen to this shit. They say, don't give black man food, give red man liquor. Red man fool, black man nigger. Give yellow man tool, make him build railroad builder. Also give him pan, make him pull gold from river. Give black man crack, Glocks and things. Give red man craps, slot machines. Now bring it back. Now, if you listen to that, you know, we never really had no real food or substance to eat in slavery. That's why we went to pork. You know, we went to a bunch of abominations. You know, they gave the so-called red man a bunch of liquor, and you know, them Edomites, they faked as Native Americans, and now they have land where Native Americans dwelt, and they got slot machines, they got casinos and shit, right? And I'm quite sure that a lot of those so-called Asians that they used to build the railroad system in America, they probably was Jakes being oppressed, okay? Because Jake was, for the most part, being oppressed, you know, and these other nations was living delicious off our labor. Now, this wicked nigga Lupe Fiasco, who is a Muslim, he made a lot of sense with those lyrics, you know.
He's a Muslim.
I have a quick precept just to back up the brother. Talking to my mind. Psalms 109 and 25 says, "I became also a reproach unto them. When they look upon me, they shake their heads." And it's not what this nation do. You know, every time they look at us, feel that they think that we're nothing. I mean, we're just savages. We're no good. You just bring harm to them. And you walk into the store, they'll follow you. They'll watch you. They'll have a customer. You know, and they'll have extra eyes on you. Like the customer could be stealing in front of them. Their eyes are pinned on you, man. Because we're the problem. You know, we're the issue. And then And then also, not to mention, they go into the family members to come and set up shop in the hood, man, because they know it's easy money with Jake. So Jake just spends.
Yep.
Mhm. Right.
Hey, when someone put up someone put up Elon damn near winning Brampton. Well, that's called Brampton's not called Brampton anymore. You didn't know that? It's called Bramladesh. Call it, man. Real shit. You know, you got Jake still, but Elam, they started buying up the houses, and that's what they're doing throughout these different regions. Elam, Moab, they're buying up real estate, man. You know,
Con.
they're both Jake, man. All right,
and through the spirit, you
I
know,
got a precept of the housing thing.
Oh no, I was gonna say real quick, you know, the elders been bringing out through the spirit, you know, Moab and Ammon over there taking over Africa.
Yeah.
That's right. Right, man. On the move.
And they're proud, man.
Con.
This is Job 19:6, and you brothers can break it down. This is it says, know now that the Most High hath overthrown me and hath compassed me with his net. Behold, I cry out of wrong, but I am not heard. I cry aloud, but there is no judgment. Verse 8 says, he hath fenced up my way that I cannot pass, and he hath set darkness in my paths, my glory, and taken the crown from my head.
Yeah, we've been brought to a lower state, you know, and that's what 2/3 of people understand. You can cry all you want, go back, you know, to go to Eastman and yell for blessing and yell for help and do this, and even 2/3 of people can go to the Most High cry and ask for help, but he's not hearing you because you refuse to follow instructions first of all, and then on top of that, you're trying to copy another nation and how to get power, and it doesn't work. Okay? And for that same reason, why we got stripped away, why we got a homeland, why we're in bondage today. Right?
It says, verse 10, it says, he hath destroyed me on every side, and I am gone, and mine hope hath he removed like a tree.
Yeah, because if you actually take it, Israel's hope was before the Most High before. Now what is their hope? A business, your boys here. You know, when any jigger who comes up to you, what's the first thing to say? You gotta get a business, man. You gotta make your own currency. You know, that's their hope. Their hope in money, or they think the so-called women can bring them out of it, man. They've forgotten their hope, man. Esau has destroyed the hope of 2/3. No, they don't have any hope in the Heavenly Father anymore.
Con. I got a precept on that.
Jake wants to say, what did Jake just say?
For real. Right.
It says, verse 11, it says, he had also kindled his, you had a precept or what?
No, go ahead. I'll get it once you're done.
And it says, verse 11, he had also kindled his wrath against me, and he counteth me unto him as one of his enemies, which the Lord did for a time. You know, during colonialism and slavery, man, you look at the accounts, you think the Most High forsook Jake, you know, but that was a chastisement, that was correction, you know, for iniquity. It says, verse 12, his troops come together and raise up their way against me and encamp round about my tabernacle. He hath put my brethren far from me, and mine acquaintance are verily estranged from me. Now, this is Job going through his health, but this is also metaphorical, spiritual, man. It's twofold, you know, because in Deuteronomy 28, doesn't it say that, you know, roughly paraphrasing, the tender brother, you know, shall have his eyes shall be evil toward his brother, right?
And we spiritually Job, you know, we spiritually Job right now.
That's right.
Gone. That's right. That's right. And it says, verse 14, my kinsfolk have failed, and my familiar friends have forgotten me. They that dwell in my house and my maids count me for a stranger. I am an alien in their sight.
Because
my servant. Yep.
The scriptures say, you know, Israel was known as to be the excellency of beauty amongst all the nations, man, and we became like orphans, man. The scriptures say we had no name in the streets, you know. Go, Doc.
It says verse 16. I called my servant and he gave me no answer. I entreated him with my mouth. My breath is strange to my wife, though I entreated for the children's sake of mine own body. That's another curse in Deuteronomy 28. Verse 18, it says, yea, young children despise me. I arose and they spake against me. It says, all my inward friends abhorred me, and they whom I loved are turned against me.
Hey, and that's going into blessing that separate you from the company, because the spirit man bothers them, man. They're in the spirit really of Satan. 2/3 of the people in the world, that's the spirit that they're in. They're against the Heavenly Father, they're against his order. So you're gonna have people when you're trying to walk right in this world. Because everybody else is really against the light. They're like cockroaches. You shine the light, they run away. And then some of them try to trip you while you're walking, man. There was a song with the group a while ago. It was just a Jamaican song, and it was just showing he had an angel protection. He went, but everywhere he went, he could see the demon looking at him, man, and ready to attack him. Take him out. It's the same thing with us. The wife is gonna be ready to take you out. Your cousins, your brothers. It doesn't matter, because they're manipulated for demons to jump on them. It's not like you're walking in a straight way the best you can. You're in season. A legion demon can jump on them just to provoke you. Maybe you can go on.
Okay. I was holding a priest here. Your brothers ain't got none. Or okay, I'll get Jeremiah chapter 30 and 13. It says, there is none to plead thy cause, that thou mayest be bound up. Thou was no healing medicine. It says, all thy lovers have forgotten thee, they seek thee not, for I have wounded thee with the wound of an enemy, with the chastisement of a cruel one, for the multitude of thine iniquity, because thy sins were increased. I'll keep
Fine, that's why you had Israelites for decades, man, trying to go to the Supreme Court in America. They didn't go through. Then they tried to go to the UN, the League of Nations. They try to plead their cause. No one's hearing them, man. The human rights and all that shit. No one's hearing you.
No man shall buy you.
That's right. Verse 15. It says, why criest thou for thine affliction? Like you were just going into. That's what we're doing, right? It says, why criest thou for thine affliction? Thy sorrow is incurable for the multitude of thine iniquity. And whatever people doing, they're going to Christianity. They're going to their white Jesus. They're crying to them. It says, because they sin, because thy sin were increased, I have done these things unto thee. That's good enough. I'll stop there.
I had a precept just to back up Job, right? This is quick.
I got a precept after you.
Con.
After you, I got it.
Con. It says Deuteronomy 28 and 54. It says, so that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eyes shall be evil toward his brother. Because at one point, Jake, it means delicate, mean royal. We didn't have a screw face. Every time you see a Jake, you look at him funny. You might be plotting on him already, right? And very delicate, his eyes shall be evil toward his brother and toward his wife, or the wife of his bosom, and towards the remnant of his children, which he shall leave. That's Jake. Verse 55. So that he will not give to any of them of the flesh of his children, whom he shall eat, because he had nothing left him in the siege, and in the straitness wherewith thine enemies shall distress thee in all thy gates.
Cool.
56. The tender and delicate woman among you, which would not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness, her eyes shall be evil towards the husband of her bosom, and towards her son, and towards her daughter, and towards her young one that cometh out from between her feet. and
That's
towards
that's
the,
like
Mhm.
that's so simple. You know, you don't have to get on a you know, the scriptures speak about spiritual things. This is very basic.
Come
When
on.
it comes to the black woman, they are the highest levels of abortions, all right? And just neglect amongst all the nations, man. No other nation can compare to how wicked the women of our nation are, man. You know, not to mention our
Yeah,
men, you know. Good,
yeah. The women of our nation, their boxes are tuned, man.
huh?
Hey, that's why it says that through the woman we all die, man. Hey, some of those fetuses don't even make it out. Through some of those spirits, man.
Right?
Con,
It says, verse 57, and towards a young one that cometh out from between her feet, and toward her children which she shall bear, for she shall eat them for want of all things secretly in the siege and straitness wherewith thine enemy shall distress thee in thy gates. Right? Which was, again, happened during 70 AD, and it's going to happen again.
that's right.
Huh.
It's going to happen again, man. That was it.
Con. This is Daniel's 8:23. And somebody could break it down as I go. And in the latter time of their kingdom, when the transgressors are come to fall, a king of fierce countenance and understanding dark sentences shall stand up, and his power shall be mighty, but not by his own power, and he shall destroy wonderfully, and shall prosper and practice, and shall destroy the mighty and the holy people. And through his policy also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart. And
Yeah,
by
that's
peace,
America, man. You know, brothers, he's what it's reading, what it's saying right there is all about America. And notice it says verse 24, and his power shall be mighty, but not by his own power, right? Because
yep,
all the power these devils get is from the Most High, man.
that's right.
You know? It's all from Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Once he pulls the plug, that's it, man. I'm gonna look up this word craft, right? In verse 25, the brother read the word craft is in the Hebrew, which is marma, which means deceit or treachery, fraud, guile, subtlety, you know. And what does that make you think of? Was that Genesis 3? The serpent was more subtle than all the beasts of the field,
The
you know.
most
Yep.
sad man.
Yep.
Which the Most High had made. You know, that's a you know the Most High created that serpent, man. You know, he's a potter. You know, can
Con.
That was it.
Continuing on, verse 25. And through his policy also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many. He shall also stand up against the prince of princes, but he shall be broken without hand.
by peace he shall destroy many. That's why the scriptures are timeless, because today America pushes liberty to all nations. If you're being oppressed within your nation, we promise you liberty. You know,
Yep.
they
Well,
call
that peace destroying many through peace is democracy. Because
that's right.
the word democracy demo goes back to people, but it really goes back to divide. And crassy is where you get the word power. You know,
All right, all
so
right.
basically it means divide and conquer. Another word for power is what? Conquer, right? Or conquer is power.
Huh.
You know, so democracy is divide and conquer, man. They're completely dividing you people: Republican, Democrat, liberal, and conservative. Like it matters, man. These people are doing the same rituals behind closed doors, man. You know, they're doing the same shit. It's just a big show. You
That's
know,
right. Like I was watching a video, a Nigerian woman, what she put on YouTube. She said, "Why should you not?" What is it? What she say? She, in other words, she pretty much said, "Why you shouldn't come to America?" And she's relating this to Nigerians, because Nigerians feel like if they come to America, they can make it. And she literally said, "America is just a hustle, man.
Right.
It's a hustle, and you got to get over the next man. It's pretty much dog eat dog, man."
Uh,
yeah. And America loves talking about like capitalism and all that shit, but you know, they want to talk about, like you said, like making it and working hard and becoming successful and all this bullshit. But what was the capital for capitalism to get it started? Slavery.
Right.
You know, You had free
Yep.
labor for centuries, and now you're talking about, oh, we're capitalists. We're the greatest country in the world, man. That's why the Most High is coming back to take you out, man.
That's right.
Hey, I have a quick precept because you brought that out, right? Backing up what the war was saying. This is Nahum chapter 3, verse 4. It says, because of the multitude of the whoredoms of the well-favored harlot, the mistress of witchcraft that selleth nations through her whoredoms and families through her witchcrafts. And that's how they get you over here, man. Get you over here, do that their make them bucks because they'll display it on your big screen. I still remember makeup years ago. They show America lavish. You can get anything you want. You just need to put in work and a nice palm tree. And, little Timmy and his white family driving down, having a splendid time. And you really can have that too, man. As soon as you take the road over here, it's like you're struggling to keep your car, you're keep your house, right? Because America is all about tricking you and getting you to do the work. And once you get in the motion of doing work, they know they got you. Because and what I hate about America the most, they'll even put a dream in your head, keep you motivated to work. Like, don't worry, you achieve your dreams. You just gotta keep putting work while you're making money. That dream, that motivation to keep you working.
I got a quick definition. It's ill-gotten gains, money or property that someone obtained in an illegal or dishonest way.
That's a beautiful word, man. Hey, quick precept, just because you brought that out. Quick one. This is Ecclesiastes 10 and 8. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another.
Hey, and that's why we go into words here, right? It helps further edify these points. Bring this book more to life.
That's right.
Okay.
Hey, that was it on Daniel 8, brother?
What happened?
Was that on that?
Daniel 8?
Yeah, that was in on that.
Come
You have anything?
Hey, get the roach spray, man. Barba.
You have those? You have those?
Hey, what on the YouTube or on what were you streaming on?
What is this?
On YouTube.
Oh, come.
Is it on your channel, Yeromim or Gabarba's?
Mine, man.
Okay.
Roach.
Hey, they are necessary evil. You guys let us know we doing something right.
Right.
I want to save the water to you, okay?
You're just talking about. Look at what this bug will come to say. I see you little ones have very little faith in me, my little children. What?
You guys bugged out.
That's what I said. When cancer comes, you gotta weed it out.
Right.
God.
Gotta put on timeout.
You gotta cut that disease out.
Yeah. Hey, don't even let that shit form a scab, man. Get that shit out of here.
Yeah.
Already did.
A long disease. You gotta cut that out.
God.
All right.
Hey, you guys give us slaps though, man. The water.
Gun. So what was the last precept?
So you want to get back into the scattering?
Yeah, let's go back to the schedule.
Gun.
I got a precept. Brothers can break it down. This is 2nd Ezra 2 and verse 5. When it says, "As for me, O Father, I call upon thee for a witness over the mother of these children, which would not keep my covenant, that thou bring them to confusion and their mother to a spoil, that there may be no offspring of them."
Go ahead. Read that.
7. Khan, I'll read it again. Verse 6. You want me to start from top?
Gun. Right where you started. Gun.
2nd Ezra 2 and 5. It says, "As for me, O Father, I call upon thee for a witness over the mother of these children, which would not keep my covenant." Verse 6.
It's cutting up.
Oh, Slacky, I'll read it again. You can hear me?
Gun.
It says, "As for me, O Father, I call upon thee for a witness over the mother of these children, which would not keep my covenant.
That's right. Keep going. If you're what Ezra is going into, go ahead. If you unless you want to grab something.
Verse 6, it says, that thou bring them to confusion and their mother to a spoil, that there may be no offspring of them.
You hear that? So Daniel was not the only one who cursed his people, man. Ezra's went into that too. All right, he's telling the Most High to bring a curse onto the children, man, the offspring. You know, bring evil time. A curse is to bring evil, wish evil on someone or a people. And he was righteous, man.
Yeah,
It says verse 7.
okay, good.
It says, let them be scattered abroad among the heathen. Let their names be put out of the earth.
That's
they
why
have despised my covenant.
That's why we no longer call ourselves Israelites. All right, we call ourselves either niggers, Indian, all right, Mexican, and we never called ourselves Israelites. And the name Israel doesn't really exist in the earth. You know, just a few. The scriptures said we could be a small sanctuary in the place we're scattered. So we got a few brothers, all right, a remnant, a hopeful elect remnant, calling themselves Israelites, right? Up until this time, but prior to say 30 years ago, it wasn't really it wasn't popping like it is now, you know. Got that? So Ezra was wishing a curse on that curse was really on you 2/3, because Ezra in the spirit he knew that there were going to be a remnant. He knew about the remnant, you know, but he's putting the curse on you niggas who this curse let his blood be upon us and our children, man.
Yeah, and yeah, you're right, man, about the curse and when it says let their names be put out of the earth, because like you said, we're all these different proverbs, and this happened thousands of years ago too, man. You know, I had a book I couldn't find. It was called when Scotland was Jewish. I forget who it was by, but they went into some history about Israelites during the time of the Roman Empire. They literally put off the name Israel, and they took on names like the Gauls, the Franks, you know, the Celtic, you know, all these different names, and you think you're watching these different movies, the Visigoths and Anglo-Saxons, and you know they portray Edomites and all that shit. So you think in your head, no way can that be a black man ever, right. You know? But the history, the history is vast, man. You know,
wow.
Israel.
Like even the history of William Wallace from Braveheart.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
You gotta get that book right there. Huh? You remember?
Yeah, I gotta get it.
Okay. Brother got a precept? Hey, I'll get this one. This is Second Ezra, chapter 1:25 says, "Seeing ye have forsaken me, I'll forsake you also. When ye desire me to be gracious unto you, I shall have no mercy upon you."
Hey, that
wherein go ahead.
That during the trouble, because that's when you're going to plead to the Lord, man. That's when you're going to have all the understanding. That's when you're going to want to be in a chariot. That's when you're going to want to switch sides, so to say.
Okay.
Wait, in Proverbs, he's going to laugh. You know, the opposite. He's going to laugh at you at that time. Right.
It says, "Whensoever you shall call up, hear you, for you have defiled your hand with blood, and your feet are swift to commit manslaughter." I'll end off with this one, verse 27. "You have not, ye have not as it were forsaken me, but your own selves, saith the Lord."
Yeah, because at the end,
own identity, the blessing, the surname the Most High gave us, we forsook that for something that, as the scriptures say, that for idols, for idol worship, for something that doesn't profit us. You know, the scriptures say we called a father, a wood our father, and a stone our mother. Is that Jeremiah? Something like that. We went off and was dumb as all hell, man. You know.
I got it, Ak, if you want it.
Come on.
You want me
This
to read
is
it?
Khan. Go ahead, bro.
This is Jeremiah 2, and I'll go to the point 27. Saying to a stock, thou art my father, and to a stone thou hast brought me forth. For they have turned. Yep.
So we told, like, after our people went through the desert for 40 years and saw the things that just defy your understanding, you know, and you know, it's that's showing you that that's that seed that was you know, that unfaithful seed, man. Lucky, go ahead. Just let it.
It says thou hast brought me forth, for they have turned their back unto me and not their face, but in the time of their trouble they will say, arise and save us.
Con, that's when brothers are gonna laugh, man. When it's too late. Yeah.
Verse 28. But where are thy gods that thou hast made thee? Let them arise, if they can save thee in the time of thy trouble. For according to the number of thy cities are thy gods, O Judah.
Mm-hmm. Good.
Because you know, you go to Sarnetter TV, man, you see all kinds of gods, man. Men make themselves out to be gods. They make you try to worship them.
Yeah.
You know?
God.
So you got crazy.
Hey, you got a song. You got a song by Will Smith's son, that Jay the Smith guy, called Icon Talk.
That's right.
And all he sings about is being an icon and idol, pretty much like a god, man. People worshiping him and all that stuff, man. That's what this world is about. You know?
It's I'm an icon living. I was just listening to that today.
Yeah.
Yeah, flame. This guy's a flamer, man.
Yeah.
And he's coming out with beats like this is a track that's gonna catch, you know, that witchcraft. It's gonna catch you, man. It's got that beat, them drums.
Yeah.
You know, run that witchcraft, and people are gonna be feeling. They're gonna be feeling themselves, because that's what that song makes you do. Make you start feeling yourself. All right, that's that pride. You know, go ahead, Ak, if you any brothers got a precept. And I'll grab this. This is Ezekiel chapter 39, and let me start 21. It says, and I will set my glory among the heathen, and all the heathen shall see my judgment that I have executed, and my hand that I have laid upon them. Verse 22, so the house of Israel shall know that I am the Lord their power from that day and forward.
Yeah. Hey, that comes to show you that their fantasy of being real forever be cut short, because you know Esau's trying to win his way out of judgment, but Moses said, they shall see my judgment. You know, so guess what? You're gonna see the chariots, you're gonna see the missiles, you're gonna see us, or you know, the hopeful elect, whoever they are, get beamed up and get transformed. You know, all of these things are prophecy, and it has to happen the same way we had to see Esau rise in power, you know, and look at his kingdom, his filthiness, his disgusting spewings, his abominations walking up and down on the streets. He's gonna have to witness his shame and our rising.
Okay. Verse 23, and the plug it.
Now, go ahead.
Okay, I'll keep going. This is verse 23, and the heathen shall know that the house of Israel went into captivity for their iniquity, because they transgressed against me. Therefore hid I my face from them, and gave them into the hand of their enemies. So fell they all by the sword.
And what era are we in? We're in that era where we remember why we went into captivity. We're speaking about it now. We speak about it.
Khan and Jake didn't know why they went into captivity, man. Like if you watch the movie Geronimo, at the end, he's on the train getting transported to Florida, to a goddamn concentration camp, basically, you know. And he said no one knows why the one God brought the white eye, and why there were so many of them, you know, why they came and conquered us. So the brother's reading right now. Then they shall know. And like Gabarba said, there's a scripture that says they shall remember me in the land of their captivity. You know.
That's right.
Hey, are you done with that award?
No, I can keep going unless you got some.
Yeah, I got something. It was just to back you up. But if you,
Khan, go ahead.
okay, Khan. This Baruch 2:29 says, "You will not hear." So I'll start at verse 28. It says, "As thou speakest by the servant of the Jews, and thou didst command him to write thy law before the children of Israel, saying, If ye will not hear my voice, surely this very great multitude have turned into a small number among the nations where I will scatter. For I knew that they would not hear me, because it is a stiff-necked people. But in the land of their captivity they shall remember themselves, and shall know that I am Yahweh their power. For I will give them a heart and ears to hear, and they shall praise me in the land of their captivity."
See how beautiful that is, man? You're seeing it right now. The Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Kakodash, He's putting that spirit in men. You know, that's why brothers are doing videos every day. You know?
Okay.
So that spirit is coming back. You know, he's starting to deal with us more and more, man. You know?
That's showing that he's showing his face, because him hiding his face, that this spirit that men are in wasn't here before the 70s. It wasn't here during the 50s, the 40s, the 30s, the 20s, the 1800s, the 1700s, the 1600s, going all the way, you know, after Yahushua and the apostles died off, you know, around 70 AD. That's still late. You know, the Most High hid himself. Now he's back here. You know, that's why it's crazy. If you guys haven't noticed, when you lost yourself, there was no mention of Paleo Hebrew. There was no mention. Our whole culture notice now. The Paleo Hebrew is back. You know, you have brothers speaking it. You know, the history as a whole is back. It's being brought to the forefront.
Okay.
True meaning. Like it.
No, go ahead.
No, you got it.
No, I was just gonna say, you know, the vibration of his name is back on the earth now.
That's right.
You know,
Right.
before all you have is God and Jesus Christ.
Right.
You know, once that name got put back out here and put in rotation, you know, you're seeing more of a change. You know, you're seeing the power behind that name.
That's right. Beautiful. Can I'll keep going on this. It says, so fell they by the sword, all by the sword, according to their uncleanness and according to their transgression, have I done unto them, and hid my face from them. Therefore, thus saith the Lord power, now will I bring again the captivity of Jacob, and have mercy upon the whole house of Israel, and will be jealous for my holy name. Right? For my holy name. After they have borne their shame and all their trespasses, that's the punishment of that iniquity is accomplished. You know, we're getting to that time. It says after that they have borne their shame and all their trespasses, whereby they have trespassed against me, when they dwell safely in their land, and none made them afraid. So we're we're waking up. The dead body, the valley of dry bones. You know, the Heavenly Father's putting sinew and putting the bones together and putting water back in it. You know, hydrating us. What?
God, this is pursuant to what Salaki. I didn't get the brother in Baltimore. Your name, brother.
Shamyah.
This is what the brother said. Pursuing to the name being that vibration being out there, right? So this is Revelations 3:12. It says, "Him that overcometh will I make a pillar in the temple of my power, and he shall go no more out. And I will write upon him the name of my power and the name of the city of my power, which is New Jerusalem, which cometh down out of heaven from my power. And I will write upon him my new name." Now, when you look up the word "new" in the Greek,
That's right.
G2537, kainos,
which means recently made, fresh, recent, unused, unworn, of a new kind, unprecedented, novel, uncommon, unheard of. So it's always been around. It's been around since Adam, because it tells you that Adam called upon the name of the Lord. You know, so that his name has always been there, but through different times he hid it, because during the time of correct me if I'm wrong, Moses or was it Moses or either Abraham when they thought his name was Al-Shadia, which was demon-like power, terror-like power, you know? And then he said, no, my true name. He told Moses, call me Yahweh. You know, I am that I am. You know, when you look it up, it basically means he exists, he to
Right.
be.
Hey, Gabar, it's kind of reminds you of that scripture that we seem to can't run across again.
Yeah.
Because if people could run across that scripture, you know, it'll bring you back to remembrance as well. That if we do this, you know, our power will come back to us.
Hey, and don't we always talk about that every time we try to find that scripture, we never, ever,
never can find it.
no matter how hard we try, we put it. Hey, Elder, you know the scripture?
Revelation 3?
Huh? You say that?
Which scripture are you talking about?
The one where it's about Israel would turn to the east, I would turn to the captivity.
Oh,
Yo,
that is a tricky
like,
one.
It's about two or three different ones that kind of speak on it, but it don't go as in depth as like Gabar was just saying.
yeah, I've read it. I personally read it and and that's, you know, the Most High doesn't want us to really.
God. I know what you're talking about. I read it too, and I looked for it too, the same way you brothers look for it. I couldn't find it either.
I read it in my studies. You know, me and Gabar, we've been trying to find it and can't run across it again.
It wasn't it. Is that going into the prayer of Solomon?
Khan.
Yeah.
Khan.
He was praying over all Israel, and he said,
Khan,
face the east in the line of captivity.
I was looking at that a few weeks ago. I think it's.
But I got something quick because you brothers mentioned remembrance, right? This is Jude 1:5. It says, I will therefore put you in remembrance, though ye once knew this, how that the Lord, having saved the people out of the land of Egypt, afterward destroyed them that believe not.
In remembrance, they would have to have the foreknowledge before, you know, and Most High even said, though you once knew this. So there was a point in time where we were power, knew all these things. Now you're seeing it coming back. Like the Saint George new, meaning in the Greek means to renew, man. All of this is renewing. All of this is refreshment. You know, it's basically you're back in training. You're in training camp all over to be who.
Yeah, well, like your spirit is always comes back, but your body has to get trained, right? You have to learn how to walk, how to crawl, you know, how to use your motor skills and all that. But that spirit, it's still there, you know. It's an old spirit.
Can I have the one that you're going into? I think this is it. Unless brother's got a precept.
Now go ahead.
This is First Kings. This is First Kings chapter 8, and let me start at 26. It says, "And now, O power of Israel, let thy words, I pray thee, be verified, which thou spakest unto thy servant David my father. But will the Most High indeed dwell on the earth? Behold, the heavens and the heaven of heavens cannot contain thee. How much less this house that I have built? Yet have thou respect unto the prayers of thy servant, and to the supplication of the Lord my power, to hearken unto the cry, and to the prayer which thy servant prays before thee today, that thine enemies may be open to that thine eyes may be open towards this house night and day, even towards the place of which thou hast said, my name shall be there, and thou mayest hearken unto the prayer which thy servant shall make towards this place. It says, and hearken thou to the supplication of thy servant and of thy people Israel, when they shall pray towards this place, and hear thou in heaven thy dwelling place, and when thou hearkenest, forgive."
Yeah,
you hear that?
That's one, but that's not the one. There's one.
That's not the one here.
Yeah.
Literally says all Israel would pray and faith, and he.
Yeah. That's a gem, man. Yeah, remember
God,
that.
okay. I don't see a precept in here. Maybe Deuteronomy 12 and 11.
Man, I remember I read that scripture on the highways years ago too, man. Shit.
That's what I mean. Is I know I remember I've seen it eye contact, but for some reason I never retained. I never saved it in a note. nothing. Just gone. No?
And I bring this out to a lot of brothers, and I get the same result. Yeah, I know what you're talking about, but I do not know where it's at.
That's the spirit. Most High's hiding that, man. Because on this side, all Israel can't be saved, man, and they're not gonna turn to the east and pray to get out of here. Nor will they change their ways. So technically, it's really not, cut up for this side, really.
Whew. I'm looking here. It's here. This is Ezekiel chapter 8 and no, hold up, backward toward the temple. Chapter 8 and 16, and he brought me into the inner court. No, you know what? That goes into something else, I think, right? And their faces towards the east, and they worship the sun. No, that's not it.
So I feel like that's in the gospel. That's something that I'm probably gonna have to take some time personally and like really go back into look for it. Probably reread a couple chapters, a couple books, just maybe.
I know it's in the Old Testament.
Which verse did you read, or?
That was Ezekiel.
In Kings, 1 Kings 8 and what?
It was 1 Kings 8 and around 29. 29. I have a precept for Deuteronomy 12 and 11.
Bring it on out.
Okay, this is Deuteronomy 12 and 11. It says, "Then there shall be a place which the Lord thy power shall choose to cause his name to dwell there. Thither shall you bring all that I command thee, your burnt offerings and your sacrifice, your tithes, and the heave offering of your hand, and all your choice vows, which vow unto the Lord." Not quite it there, right there. No.
We'll find that for another time.
God, it's heavy.
Let me read this quote. This is still a good point. This is 1 Kings 8 and 33. And it says, "When thy people Israel be smitten down before the enemy, because they have sinned against thee, and shall turn again to thee, and confess thy name, and pray and make supplication unto thee in this house, then hear thou in heaven, and forgive the sin of thy people Israel, and bring them again unto the land which thou gavest unto their fathers." And that's just to back up. It shows you that we're not in the land right now. So who's in the land of Israel right now? Is that the kingdom of heaven? Because it tells you when the Israelites are back in Israel, there's going to be no more war.
And there's just even 12 gates. You're gonna have the 12 gates, the city of gold. You're gonna have the chariots. The most is gonna be among the Israelites. Now, if you look over there, that place is desolate, building fence. They're trying to snake the Palestinians to get more land. You know what I'm saying? So it comes to show you, and there's no gates there. There's no of the tribes over there. That in itself shows you that they're not the people. And it even says here the prayers, because right now who's really throwing up the prayers in truth and sincerity is really the elect. We're the ones throwing up the prayers of Yahweh Shai, and that's who he's hearing, that's who he's really forgiving. Everybody else, you have your part in damnation. Whatever when he chooses to get you, the famine, the sword, or nuclear missiles.
And I'm gonna jump to verse 38. It says, "What prayer and supplication soever be made by any man, or by all thy people Israel, which shall know every man the plague of his own heart, and spread forth his hands toward this house, then hear thou in heaven thy dwelling place, and forgive, and do, and give to every man according to his ways, whose heart thou knowest. For thou only knowest the hearts of all the children of men, that they may fear thee in all the days that they live in the land which thou gavest unto our fathers." That was the point.
And that's what we're back to, because we fear the Heavenly Father and His commandments, and He tells us to do and what He tells us not to do. And ultimately we want to go back home. We don't want to be here. We don't want to make the role of this damn idiot.
That's right.
Winging it. People that are winging it, controlling the earth, and we want to rule it. If a man want to be in a position of of leading either their household or whatever they do. Another man shouldn't be, holding back a man of what he's capable of. You know, this is the case,
That's right.
and I think it's worse than physical, because at least you knew who your enemy was, man. This mental got you guys all freaking backwards, sided down, left, right, twisted. You guys don't see your enemy, and those who put you bluntly in front of your face, or clearly in front of your face. And for some reason, you guys have that strong hold on them, man. Anybody have anything else? We can close up after one more precept.
And I got one. I can, brothers, you want to go ahead? Okay, all right, I'll go. This book of Hebrews, chapter 13, and this is let's see. Let me start it. We go up. Let me start at 9. Hebrews 13 and 9 says, "Be not carried about with diverse and strange doctrines, for it is a good thing that the heart be established with grace, not with meats, which have not profited them that have been occupied therein." It says, "We have an altar whereof they have no right to eat, which serve the tabernacle. For the bodies of those beasts whose blood is brought into the sanctuary by the high priest for sins are burnt without the camp. Wherefore Hamashiach Yahushai also, that he might sanctify the people with his own blood, suffered without the gate. Let us go forth therefore unto him without the camp, bearing his reproach." Bearing his reproach. So when it comes to like the Lord said, many are called and few are chosen, and the laborers are few, but pray that the Lord send laborers into his harvest, because the day is at hand, and brothers gotta, wake up out of sleep and get into, into diligence, like the Spirit's on brothers to put out more videos as much as you can, not 3, but as much as you can. Do what your what's the word?
According to your measure. According to your measure.
Beautiful. What Khan. So according to your measure, like the brother said, it says verse 14, "For we have no continuing city." All right, we don't have a continuing city, man. Okay, like it says, but we seek one to come, man. We seek for a continuing city, one step in for eternity, man. In righteousness.
POWs right now.
Daggy?
I said we're POWs right now. That's what we.
That's right. That's right.
That it?
Brothers, any brothers got a precept?
Anybody else have anything?
Mm-mm.
No. All right, Awar, you can close out.
All right. Well, I don't know to brothers. Brothers were edified. I'm gonna close up and give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Baharaka Kudash. Double honors to our teachers of the Great Millstone. Peace, salutation, select. To all the brothers for joining on the Google Hangouts. To all for the breaking bread, and Adonai Design. Do it again. Until this bullshit is all done with, man. All holy conversation and godliness, man. So shalom to the brothers.
Shalom.
Come here, sure.
Inshallah.